Hey, Seidel Schultz here, sound astrologer, back with another video of the sound of astrology or the gospel of astrology, according to Seidel. And today we are really talking about Virgo. So, what is the difference between a regular astrologer and a sound astrologer? I'm really listening to the planets and what they're saying to me, and this like the sound that they're emitting, not as in like a musical sound, but really like what they're speaking, their expression that they're speaking. And then I use that to help connect you to the power and the frequency of your sound and your expression. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, so today we're talking about Virgo. And the very first thing that I want to say about Virgo is, oh my gosh, I love Virgo. And that is like, wasn't my love when I very first started. In fact, I blocked Virgo so much that I did not realize that I have multiple planets in Virgo. I just thought I had zero Virgo whatsoever. So that's how much I previously loved Virgo, but now it is, I do love it very much. And the first thing that I want to say about Virgo is this. Each sign is ruled by a specific planet, okay? Virgo is ruled by Chiron. And so if you have a lot of Virgo placements, if you've got Virgo in your top three, you can experience, how do I want to say this? It can feel really messy. You can feel really messy, like a hot mess. And one of the reasons that is with Chiron ruling Virgo, it is that wounding, and it is the wounded healer, right? And Chiron, to me, when I listen to Chiron, this is Jesus, right? So if you haven't seen my Chiron series, go watch that. I will link that in the description below. So Chiron to me really resembles Jesus. So when a Virgo is connected to the light within themselves, they are really super connected to Jesus. And I can vouch for this in my life. Like, as I wasn't connected, as I was connected more to my wounding and communication, what like the communication I received back from other people, and even the communication that I was giving was a hot freaking mess. But as I leaned into what I'm going to share with you, coming up in this video, my communication super changed, and people are like, feel like they can hear more of that. Like, I don't want to say they can hear Jesus, but it's more of a space of where my communication helps heal, right? And oh my gosh, I just heard this. I love it so much. So I've like wondered forever and ever, why in the world Virgo is considered the nurse of the Zodiac, because I'm like, that is not how I've experienced Virgo. Like the Virgo people in my life, that's not how I've experienced them. That's not how I've experienced my Virgo, like this nurturing, like help you heal kind of thing. It's been more of like exacting and judgment and like critical, all those like really not fun parts. And so it didn't make any sense at all. But here's the thing, like, what did Jesus do? Jesus healed. And he healed people in a very precise way. And that is Virgo. Virgo is that healing. So as we lean into this part of our chart, where our Virgo is, not only can we experience healing, which is such a huge part for me, like as I communicate, I experience healing, right? But we actually offer that to other people as well. So I'm really excited. So let's jump in and take a look at a chart. So let's see. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to just move this just a little bit. Okay, So here we have, so what we're looking at here is where Virgo is cusping the house. So cusp means the point, right? Um, or the horn. That's like one of the, I love it, the horn of it. So what house cusps Virgo? So that means basically what house starts in Virgo. And you can see this here. The second house starts in Virgo right here. So she has the first house. These two planets are in Virgo, but we're really looking today at looking at what house is cusped by Virgo, okay? So a little bit more about what I've heard is as I've listened to Virgo and how we can shift into this place of precision. So Virgo is very like cut and dry. They very much are like, these are the rules. This is how you follow it, and this is what you should do. And that's how in the shadow, the precision is applied, okay? So it's applied in that way. So can you see, I want you to look at your chart and see what house your Virgo is cusping. And can you see that black and white thinking in that area of your life, or like how you've been like needling something a little bit? I don't know if that's the word that I hear is like needling it. And being like, oh no, it has to be just right. So for this one right here, where we have Virgo cusping the second house, this can really feel like needling their worth or being very black and white about their worth. So it's like, okay, in order for me to be worthy, it has to look like this, or I should be doing this, or I have to be doing this in order for me to have worth, in order for me to like, the thing that I'm hearing, especially as I'm listening to this, like in order for me to fulfill the measure of my creation, which feels super connected to worth in this house for this specific chart. So this is what I love about listening to specific charts, because it might say something a little bit different, similar, but a little bit different in your chart. So it's really important that we like take a step back and listen to what our chart is telling us. Listen to what this Virgo is saying to us, so that we can then express it in a way that's not just feels better, but is in more alignment with who we are, right? So is that very black and white thinking. Now let's take a look at this one over here. This one we have Virgo is ruling or cusping the 11th house. So this is the house of friendships. This is the house of hopes and dreams. So it could sound like a friend has to look like this, or in order for me to be friends with people, I have to be like this, or and then there's a list, right? So we have a list of things that we have to be, or a list of things that our friends have to be, or in order to get my hopes and dreams, I have to be exact in like these kinds of ways. In order for them to come true, I have to be following all the rules all at the same time, and I have to be perfect at them. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm hearing as we step into this 11th house. Now, here's the thing, and hopefully this doesn't sound really bad, and if it does, I think that's totally okay. Jesus was a little bit of a rebel in his day. I mean, a rebel according to like the Sadducees and Pharisees, right? He wasn't a rebel against God, and he was never a rebel against himself. And this is the most important part of Virgo, is to not rebel against yourself, but to rebel against the rules and regulations that may have been set in place by you or by someone else around you. So there's this really fantastic book. I highly recommend, I'll put a link in the comments below for that as well. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. So go check that book out. Go get it on Audible, buy it on Amazon. Like, you need this book in your life for this area of your life. This is what will help move you from this place of like black and white precision to really like, okay, actually, what would happen if I didn't care what everybody else says I have to do in order to have my hopes and dreams? What if instead I just listened precisely to what I need to do? What if I just acted precisely as I'm supposed to act? What if I decided what a good friend is to me? What if I decided I can have friends in all kinds of varieties and they don't have to be exact? What if we come back over here to Virgo? What if I made my own rules about my worth? What if I asked God, like, what, I don't want to say, like, what am I worth, but how am I worthy? And what makes me worthy? And what do you think about my worth? And really like ask Jesus, okay, Jesus, like, you suffered for me in Gethsemane. You died for me on the cross. Like, what makes me worth it? What makes me worthy of the sacrifice that you gave for me? If you've got um Virgo in the third house, this isn't just pretend, but if you've got Virgo in the third house, you should be like, what if I didn't care what other people thought about what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't mean that I just go around saying all sorts of manner of things or being rude to people. It means, what if I didn't care what other people thought and I really just said what was on my heart? What if I didn't care for the fourth house? What if I didn't care about what people thought about my home? What if I did what was in alignment with me? And the first house in Virgo, oh my gosh, like with it cusping Virgo, they can be really like, okay, my body needs to be like this, or I'm like really strict with things, really black and white. But what if I, Virgo in the first house, what if I really listen to my body and what my body needs instead of like exacting myself? What if, for the fifth house, what if I created what I wanted to create? What if I didn't care what other people thought, or like the rules of art or the rules of creation? Like, who says creation is only art or music? Like, who says that that's it? Like, it could be something so different. What if it was food? What if it was like, what if it was gardening? What if it was writing an email? Like, creation can come in so many forms. And so this is where we're learning to relax ourselves on the restrictions that we have put on us so that we can really step into the full expression of that thing, or so that we can step into the precise expression of that thing and the healing expression of that thing and the ability that we have to be a healer in that area of our life. Is this sounding exciting? Okay, so Virgo in the sixth house, um, just like that, oh, daily, like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I need to be doing this, and like burdens on your shoulders on a daily basis. So what if you were like, what if I didn't care? What if I didn't care about what other people thought? What if I didn't care what like, I don't, this is just what I'm hearing, friends. Like, what if I didn't care what I thought? What if I just allowed myself to be what I wanted the day to be? And I know that sounds like annoying to this Virgo, right? Because there doesn't seem like there can be a connection to like, okay, this actually could be helpful. Because like, if I didn't care, then would I do anything? Yes, you would. You'd be following your heart and you'd be creating so much healing on a daily basis in that seventh house. That's like that personal relationship, your intimate relationships, even the intimate relationship with yourself. How am I in my intimate relationship with myself? How am I in my intimate relationships with other people? Am I allowing grace and mercy? Am I seeing things kind of like from someone else's perspective? And not from like a, oh gosh, not from like I want to say, not from I care about what they say, but like understanding what they're saying, if that makes sense. So, like in the third house, with Virgo in the third house, um, I can be really exacting when people have a conversation with me, especially my family members. I'm like, no, it's 147, not 150. Like, don't tell me it's 150, right? And so that can cause problems. But as I have stepped back and kind of put Jesus in between me and the other person, and heard their words through Jesus, it has made it so I'm like, oh, I can see where they're coming from. So if you've got that Virgo in the seventh house, it's like, how can I see this other person through Jesus and filter the other person through Jesus? Does that make sense? So, like, filtering them through so that they can see, so I can see them, and how I can step into this place of connection and like healing for me and for them in a relationship, because this is the intimate relationship, right? And then we've got the eighth house, which is the house of transformation. So not exacting on our transformation, not exacting on like what it has to look like or the only way we can transform, but really taking that pause, like taking a step back to connect to the divine, and really asking, what is it that I actually need, instead of like these set rules that I have to have in place. Now, this can show up too if it's your sun sign or your moon sign, because like the sun is your conscious self. Your moon sign is your heart, it's your subconscious self. And so we're looking at, like, you can look at it this way too, like, how am I filtering things in through my perception of the world around me? Am I allowing myself to say, what if I didn't care? Like, what if I didn't give an F? Like, what if I didn't? And I didn't care about what other people perceived me, and I was just like really present in the situation and in the moment. And I'm like, okay, what are this person's actions showing me? What are my actions showing me for the transformation? And what will help me transform? Like, and then in the ninth house, the house of teaching, the house of religion, like, oh my gosh, with the house of religion, like, and learning, like, what if I didn't care what, I know this is going to sound really bad. What if I didn't care what religion said? What if I didn't care like these parameters, and I really just listened so that I could develop a personal relationship with God, right? And I feel like Jesus was so good at that. When it was like, you can't take 50 steps on Sunday, or you have to lace your shoes a certain way. Not that they said that about lacing their shoes, but I know there is something about like how many steps they could take, and so that would be like the shadow side of Virgo coming in and being like, the only way we can be really great at our religion is if we are like showing up and doing these things the exact way. And he was like, no, actually, your heart needs to be in it, and you like, the whole purpose of this is to connect with God. So again, we can like look at our chart and be like, okay, the whole purpose of Virgo is actually to help me connect with God. One of my favorite things about Virgo is that it's an oracle, and it really can just be this like this mouthpiece for God, which is incredible because that's Jesus, right? And so Virgo in the 10th house, like, what if you didn't care what other people thought about your business? What if you didn't care what other people thought about how you show up publicly? We talked about the 11th house, and then the 12th house, your personal relationship with God. What if you put everything aside? What if you put everything aside, who you think God is, and really just let God show you who he is? That is just, I was going to say, that feels divine to me. And it is divine. Virgo is such a divine sign. It's such a beautiful sign. And it really helps us connect to this place where we can be precise and exact in a way that supports us the greatest. Okay. Show me some love. If you liked this video, like and subscribe for more sounds of astrology videos. I'll see you in the next video.